MDP Group D from Thursdays 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. Today we will be discussing what we have learned about the role of business in society over the course of Semester 1 at the University of Strathclyde. We looked at issues such as business ethics, stakeholders, governance and corporate social responsibility and what impact this has on society as a whole. Believe you can and you're halfway there.
Business ethics are a set of moral principles set out by a company which is also expected to be followed by their employees. Ethical behaviour is encouraged by many companies, be it environmental or moral issues. There are 4 ethical terms that can be used. The first concept is relativism. This is when there are no universal standards by which morality can be judged. What is correct for one society may be perceived as wrong for another. Ethics and morality are relative. You cannot have one without the other. A problem with relativism is that there are no absolutes. Nothing that anyone does is morally wrong. It's all about someone's personal opinion. The second concept is egoism. This is when someone acts within his or her own self-interests. People will obey the laws, however, if these laws compromise this person's own beliefs, then they will do what they think is best for themselves. The problem with egoism is that it can possibly have a bad outcome for many people, although you personally have gained. For example, a company saves money by not correctly disposing of their toxic waste, however it can pollute the environment and have a bad overall effect. A third concept is utilitarianism. This is when the morality of an action can be determined by its consequences. An action is determined ethical if it promotes the greatest good for the greatest number. The end justifies the means. An example of this would be Harry Truman's decision to drop a bomb in Japan in 1945, killing hundreds of innocent people and having lifelong effects for the people within the nearby area. The fourth and final concept is deontologism, derived from the Greek word duty. Someone makes the decision they do because it's their obligation and coincides with the rules and regulations that they know. Actions are not justified by their consequences, and it's deemed as the right decision if it is following the rules. However, there could be a decision that results in a better outcome but is perceived as wrong. Factors other than good outcomes determine the rightness of actions.
They have conflicting views over what is best for the business. For example, banks and employees may dispute over repayment of loans, which may cause the organisation to have to lay off their staff. Stakeholders can be defined as actors both within and outward of a firm, which can be positively or negatively affected by the organisation. They are therefore said to have a vested interest in the problems affecting the business and their solutions. Shareholders desire the best for the business in terms of profits, as they are paid a dividend, whereas stakeholders desire mutual benefits. Examples of stakeholders include banks, lenders, unions, employees, partners, and suppliers, to name a few. In order to analyse stakeholders, a power interest matrix is used, which can plot power against interest and allows stakeholders to be sorted into the following categories. The first category is the subjects. They tend to have a high stake in the company but little power. For example, this would be employees who want the organisation to do well in order to retain their positions but have little influence in how the business is run. The next group is the crowd. This is a low interest group and they have low power as well. For example, single customers, as they have low bargaining powers and are not greatly affected by how the organisation is run. Players are the third group. These are people with high power and high interest in the business. For example, senior managers or the board of directors, who have both the ability to make decisions and the interest in how this will affect the organisation and consequently impact on them. The last group is lenders and context setters. They have high power but low interest in the business. This, for example, could be the media, who could publicise information that will affect the business, but ultimately they don't care how the business is run. There are commonly conflicts between stakeholders.
Governance is a framework which can be set in place to ensure fairness and ethical behaviour by the business and its stakeholders. It usually involves some type of written contract which is monitored to ensure that it is abided by. It involves a set of ethical codes of conduct and ethics committees to ensure good practice and penalties set in place to motivate. Without governance, organisations are vulnerable to bribery and coercion and numerous other issues which are apparent in the the business world, such as false statements, insider trading, conflicts of interest, political donations, and gifts. Governance ensures the good practice of a clearly mapped out procedure, which ensures that all stakeholders are treated fairly without discrimination. It also shows compliance with applicable laws and promotes corporate social responsibility, as the organisation is seen to act in an ethical demeanour. However, there are various challenges which may make effective governance difficult for the organisation, such as bad leadership, pressure to meet unrealistic deadlines, and pressure to earn profits. However, abiding with corporate governance means that there are benefits to the organisation, such as strong public image, employee growth, and productivity. Good governance should be internal, focusing on all stakeholders, and followed by each employee within the organisation.